Hey folks, Craig Danger, Vinyl Record Player. Hup! I am here to provide you with the details behind the number 2 best used record store in San Diego. So, buckle up. Alright, so we're back. Here to talk about the number 2 in a list of 5 super elite record stores in San Diego. That's the thing, there's about 25 of them, give or take. So these are the cream of the crop, the legends of the legend, the biggest of the crew. I don't think that is a saying at all. So let's just go ahead and let's dig into the meat of the number 2 best record store in San Diego. I'm talking about Beatbox Records. Beatbox Records. So, of course, we got 5 categories that we're working with here. We've got staff, we've got selection, we've got pricing, we've got location, and number 5, we have value picks. Because you know the Danger loves the value picks. That's the thing, not a $40 record buyer, so just don't do that. Sometimes you have to. Usually, you do not. So anyway, Beatbox Records. This was a kind of a surprise for me, this one. I did not know about it at all. It's not in a neighborhood normally that I would like cruise out to. Now I'm cruising out there all the time. I love it. But I think what's distinctive about Beatbox Records, first of all, it's soul. I'm going to go ahead and say that they have the best soul section, soul and R&B and funk section in the city, bar none. It's hard to say because my number 1 is just it's a banger of a shop that literally has everything upon everything. But I want to say that in terms of per record goodness, nobody beats the Beatbox. They're funky, as the name denotes. So you know what? Let's just go ahead. Let's just start talking it up here about our friends over at Beatbox Records. Now, coming out right off the top, staff, 5 out of 5. Again, I've said this a million times on these things, or rather I've said it 4 times so far. That being, I love the staff. These guys are chill AF, as the kids say, and frankly, they're really good guys. I've seen one of the gentlemen over at, there was a record show recently, really nice guy, ended up buying a fantastic Gladys Knight record off him for like 3 bones. It was a beauty. Again, everybody there is a beauty, so that's a 5 out of 5. Easily, we are going to go to selection next. Again, I already really just said it. Best soul section in the city. I go away from there sometimes going, oh, should I have got that? Should I have got that? There are some great records. They do have, obviously a giant rock and pop section as well. They also have some really great kind of $2 records that are just golden. I've had great experience with their $2 bin. So yeah, their selection is a quality. To pricing, I'm going to go ahead and give them a 4.5 out of 5 on pricing. That, the basic fact is that are their records all dynamically perfectly priced? I'm buying them all day and all night? No. But I will say that the quality, typically some of their soul records would be $8, lesser quality, 12. You're getting something very good for 12. You get a record for 15. It's practically a mint record. It depends, if you're talking about a really rare record, obviously you're going to pay up for that just like you would anywhere. But these guys, again, when it comes down to like semi-rare or not commonly seen soul, the pricing is really, really good, particularly with in terms of what you get. So, pricing, 4.5 out of 5. Did I say that? Yes, I did. Absolute, so close to perfection. Which brings us to the 3rd category, location. And this is where they get dinged. I'm going to be real with Beatbox. Location, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And here's the thing. I love that neighborhood, Barrio Logan, just off of Logan there. Beautiful stuff, but parking is a total nightmare. Woo! Even on days like I went the other day, a lot of the footage you're going to see. I went basically during the week, during the day, man, still a nightmare to park there. It's out of the way a little bit. If you're in town and you're renting a car, you're good to go. But in terms of like being in the center of the city, it's a bit of a go and not as easy to get to as pretty much all of the other ones. With that said, like I say, if you've got an automobile and you got a patience when it comes to dealing with San Diego parking, there ain't nothing wrong with that location. But again, for obviously to keep scores within a certain range, I'm gonna have to give them 3 out of 5 on location. And then we're looking at the last category already, man. We've been whipping through this one. That doesn't mean that Beatbox isn't one of the best. It is absolutely the second best in town, which is, of course, I'm talking about value pick. This category, I'm not even sure. I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, why did I even do value picks? Of course, every single record store on this list, starting with Nickelodeon, going to Vinyl Junkies, Flimsies, now Beatbox, they're all 5 out of 5s when it comes to value picks. Woo! I've had some great luck. Lazy Boo out for all of these record stores when it comes down to deals. These guys are great. Like I say, do not forget about the $2 bins, which are below, underneath. If you can do a nice little crouch, you can find yourself with some incredible savings. And I just actually did find a couple of great records. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few records that I picked up at Beatbox Records. Craig Danger's number 2 best. Not a silver medalist, also gold. Let's be real, this is a gold standard of San Diego used record store. So, yeah, if you come into town, Beatbox, and you like soul, ooh, check out Beatbox. I will say, if you're not a soul person, if you're more a rock person, you might be able to miss it and you'd be okay because, of course, we still have the number 1. And you got 4 other. But if you're distinctively looking for soul, funk, and R&B, ooh, man, you don't want to miss the Beatbox. It is a funky place. Obviously approved by the Danger. I mean, I'm not going to say that's... I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I don't know, maybe I'm... No, I'm not. But that's okay. Let's talk about 3 records that I picked up recently. How about Barry Maguire and the Doctor? Picked this one up in the $2 bin. The cover is in trouble. The cover is not something you want to take home to your mama, if you know what I'm saying. It is a House of Rough, but you know what? The record is fantastic. This, I believe, is a Mazzy special. I recall him showing this on his always amazing program, and I kind of listened to a track or two, and I was like, this is really good. You know what? I listened to it the other day. This is a fantastic record. Really sort of country rock. Apparently, like or a good portion of the Eagles, the Flying Burrito Brothers, maybe not the Eagles, but definitely the Flying Burrito Brothers. I know that Bernie Ledden and also, well, obviously became an Eagle, but this would have been during the time that he was, I guess, still a Flying Burrito Brother. It doesn't matter. Chris Hillman, of course, X of the Birds. But anyway, this is a really great album. Really kind of a little picking. There's some banjo. Who's on steel on this? You're thinking, hey, Danger, who's on pedal steel? How about Sneaky Pete? I mean, I think that's probably, in my opinion, the second best steel player ever. But again, I'm an Al Perkins man, and you know what? Al Perkins men, they don't F around when it comes to Al. Yeah, Sneaky Pete on this one. Again, really good record. If you see this, maybe see this for 2 bones, definitely get it. But I mean, I would pay up to $12, $15 for this one, especially if it's in good condition. This is on the, I don't even know. I'm not even sure what that label is, but it's a nice one. It's funky. It just looks like 70. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Good record. Picked it up in the $2 bin for 2. This is a little bit more of a pricey one. People get ready. Around 65, the Impressions. I have just started buying Impressions records. The issue I have with Impressions records is they're always like between 25 and 27 minutes. So you're flipping the side a lot. It's not a lot of music. But again, it's important to remember they did 2 of these a year. And to be real, yeah, all good songs. We're talking Curtis Mayfield, early business, but really prime stuff. I did actually pick up a couple. These are near mint on the ABC label. I paid about $15 for this, but I'll pay $15 for these all day in this kind of condition. Beautiful. Again, Beatbox, you can't beat that soul section. And here we are with People Get Ready. Another And then the third one, I like to show three. This one is a killer with very little to no filler. I Can't Make It Alone. Laura Lee. Woo! 74. This is on Invictus. It would be her last sort of major LP. I think she went into a little bit of gospel in the 80s, but ooh, this is a banger of a record. Picked this one up for 12. It's in excellent condition. Plays incredibly well. Yeah, and if I'm seeing a Laura Lee record, I am immediately buying that. There are not a lot of those kicking around, and she is a phenomenal diva. Super kind of underrated, unfortunately, because yeah, she just didn't get a ton of exposure. And Invictus kind of, fell off a cliff. I don't know what happened, but we had some issues with distribution, and they got squeezed out just like Stax got squeezed out, just like other labels I'm sure got squeezed out, because corporations are not, let's just say, the best distributors of music. They just aren't. But I don't know how else you do it. Certainly not through Spotify. But at any rate, yes. Thank you for sticking around. Yeah, we were just talking about the number 2 best San Diego used record store. Of course, Beatbox Records. It's a fantastic one. If you're still here, you should definitely subscribe. Again, subscribing is completely free, but totally helps the channel. Other people will be able to check this out. Other people who maybe are coming into town, they're like, oh, I would love to go to a record store with a lot of funky soul, but I don't know which one I should go to. Beatbox, friends. Number 2. Number 2 on Craig Danger's best San Diego used record store. So again, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see you on the next one.